with Sophia Melone.
Hi, everyone. It's Sophia Melone, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. I'm super excited to be before you guys for another day, another episode of the Debt Demolisher TV. What I want to talk to you guys today about is to give you a little bit of encouragement and to give you a little bit of an exercise to push you a little bit further along the way in your debt freedom journey. A lot of you guys are watching this channel because you really want to have a space to be able to do something differently in your finances, whether it be to pay off a certain amount of debt, whether it be to improve your credit score, whether it be to increase your sources of income, whether it be a way for you to determine a method to be able to keep and replenish the income sources that you have. So I am here today to be able to show you an exercise, or not really show you, but give you an exercise that can push you in that area in which you would like to receive a transformation in. So I'm going to start out with debt elimination. Now, you guys know that I did a complete debt demolishing series. It was 11 days. If you have not caught it, make sure you click here so that you can catch day 1 and work your way all the way down through day 11. I want to talk to you guys today about releasing the attachment that you have, maybe to the disappointment you have around the amount of debt that you have accumulated over your lifetime. If you are someone who is on a journey to debt freedom, or you want to start your journey to debt freedom, but you feel like there's just this harboring feeling over you sometimes that makes you feel like, why did I do this to myself? Why am I here? And it even makes you sometimes want to just go into a space of avoidance. I want to encourage you to take a healthy approach towards these feelings as it comes to your finances. I want to encourage you to write your letter of release to your debts. And that letter can be as simple as you want it to be, or it can be as robust as you want it to be. I want you to allow this space for you to just write and talk to the debt that has been accumulated over your life. Talk to the debt that has been carrying that weight on your shoulders. Talk to the debt in terms of how you are willingly and openly and choosing to let it go. So you're going to write your letter of release to your debt. And what that's going to look like is a little something like this. Dear debt, I acknowledge the fact that I allowed you to run my life for so many years. I accept the fact that I was the person who charged the amount of debt that I've charged. I accept that I've allowed you to allow me to get the experiences, or allow me to have that feeling of accomplishment as a result of the additional resources that you've allowed me to have, but at a cost. I admit that I was out of control. I admit that I allowed society to form my financial decision process. I admit that I allowed the lack of knowledge to get me into this hole that I am in today. What I've learned by looking at this number, what I've learned by looking at your number, what I've learned by accounting for every single outstanding debt that I have today, is that this $258,643.17 of debt as of this day was used to relieve some sort of pain or to fulfill some sort of accomplishment, whether it be to acquire a home, whether it be to acquire education, whether it be to spend on an impulse to serve an emotional need, whether it be to provide an experience for someone else whom I love or who I am in relation with. It was all done, and it was all charged, and it was all signed on the line for some form of experience or inner fulfillment, whether if it was temporary or permanent. I understand that by accounting for all of the debts that I have, a lot of it was for survival, survival of my peace, survival of my livelihood, survival of my inner emotions. Today, I realize that debt, you have been fully accounted for. You have been fully accounted for, and I know exactly why I am here. And not only why I am here, but why I am choosing to release you. What I accept about you, debt, is that you served your purpose. I accept the fact that you have allowed me to experience or overcome those challenges in my life, whether it be for survival or if it was for emotional support. I accept my role as the ultimate decision maker. I accept my role in saying yes to you at the price you delivered. I accept the fact that having you as my burden is no longer a responsibility. It is no longer a priority. It is no longer an obligation. I choose today to release you. I choose today to take specific action to strategically move through the process of lowering you as my number. I accept that you have presented yourself as a way to help me get through. But the biggest thing that I accept and the biggest thing that I understand and the biggest thing that I am most excited about at this time is that I honor you in peace and I let you go in peace in the same regard. Because my truth is that your burden does not belong on my shoulders. I accept and I realize and I have a real deep feeling and truth about you as my debt, that you are no longer serving me. And so because you are no longer serving me, I have a duty, a responsibility, and an obligation to release you in the most healthiest manner possible. So dear debt, I thank you. I thank you for what you have done. I thank you for the revelation that you've allowed me to experience. I thank you for the knowledge you have allowed me to now seek, because it's because of you that I've learned better. It's because of you that I've learned what not to do in the future. It's because of you I've learned that there is a way to manage and accept you in a responsible way, in a way that it won't create a burden for me, but in a way that it will support me in times of need. And support me in times of need in a way where it will be at the least cost possible. So debt, I thank you. I thank you for being able to show up in a clutch. I thank you for being able to be there when I need you the most. But what I'm really grateful for is the lesson that you've taught me. So with that, debt, I thank you for the lesson. I thank you for the blessing. But your role, your weight, your burden no longer has a place in my life. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And on today, I release you with love, peace, and poise. Thank you for your service. You may now officially resign. So that is what a letter of release to your debt can sound like, can look like, can be like. And if you followed what I was saying, you would be able to see that I kind of had 3 to 4 main points. The first thing was I started with acknowledgement. I started with acknowledging the role that debt has played in my life. I gave that awareness and that acknowledgement to the debt, right? Facing it head on. The next thing I did was that I touched on accounting for it, right? I accounted for the exact dollar amount of debt that I was in at the time. And when you look at the piece of accounting for it, you want to really think down as to what all of that debt accounted for. What was it for? What did you acquire all of this debt for? For what reason? For why? Once you've acknowledged the debt, once you've accounted for the debt, the third thing was that I accepted it. I accepted my role. I accepted what it did for me. I accepted the lesson that it taught. I accepted everything about the process. It's important to do this so that you can get to that space of release. So I want you to think deeply about the amount of debt that you are in. What are some of the feelings that it brings up for you? And speak to those feelings. If you need to write it out, if you need to say it, if you need to verbalize it, just allow yourself to flow. I just came up with this letter in 2.5 seconds just by speaking to my truth. So I want you to take this same approach to really think about, how can I tackle my debt from an emotional standpoint, and how can I release it in a way where it could help me really take some action steps towards consistently getting out of debt, lowering it, because you may not want to get out of debt 100%, but you do want to have a method and a strategy to be able to get rid of it when you need to. So if you really get yourself in a space of understanding the cycle, repeating the cycle, going through the process, you really become more strategic in how you acquire debt, and then your strategy to reduce it, and then the frequency between the two. So start with releasing those heavy emotions, those heavy burdens that come with the decision that you made in order to get you into the amount of debt that you are in today. It's not about shame. It's not about blame. It's about awareness. It's about acknowledgement. It's about being held accountable to, acknowledging. It's about accepting your role and the debt's role in its life, and then releasing it in a way where you can say, thank you for your service, but you are no longer needed here. And don't allow your prior emotions to sabotage you, to sabotage your wealth that awaits you, to sabotage your prosperity that awaits you, to sabotage the life that you really want to live and experience in this day, in this day. So my challenge for you today is to write your letter of release to your debt. Write your letter of release to your debt. And if you can, make sure that it encompasses a space of acknowledgement, a space of account, and a space for acceptance. All right. Let me know in the comments what your revelations were as a result of completing this exercise. This is a very powerful exercise if you just allow yourself to tap into the true emotion, the true feeling, the true reservations that may be coming up, so that you can release it. Because a lot of times we keep things bottled up. And when we keep things bottled up, what does it cause us to do? Cram up. It causes us to cram up, to stumble, to stop, to trip, to fall back. So if you want to get unblocked, if you want to get uncrammed, you need to let this stuff up out of your system. And you do that by putting it down on paper, typing it out, doing whatever you need to do, verbalizing it, saying it, but you need to get it out of your system. So I want you to let me know down in the comments once you have completed this exercise, and then let me know what power you found in it. And if you need to read it back to yourself every day, read it back to yourself every day. If you need to say it back to yourself every day, say it back to yourself every day. If you need to record yourself saying it and then listening to it every day, listen to it every day. It's a powerful exercise that's designed to train your mind, reframe your mind, release those harboring emotions around your decisions around debt, so that you can operate in a more healthy financial manner. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. Share this episode with someone else if you know that this is something that they could possibly exercise. And if you need someone to do this with you, get a partner, get a buddy, say, hey, I want to do this letter of release. Can you do this with me? Can you hold me accountable to doing it so that you can get into action? Because the exercise and the information that I share in this channel is meant for you to implement. It's meant for you to apply. So don't just listen, get to work. All right. Remember, your financial prosperity awaits you, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Have a good day. Bye.
The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia